This on my wrist is the brand new Fitbit Versa. This is the latest smart tracker, smartwatch from the guys at Fitbit, and I've spent a week and a half, and in this video I'm going to give you 3 things that I love and 3 things that I hate about the Fitbit Versa. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another video here on EMKWAN Reviews. You're watching me, EMKWAN. Peace and blessings to you all out there. So let's start off with the things that I like. Number 1, to begin with, let's talk about design, because I think this design is actually a really nice design. First of all, you can see that from a kind of size-wise, I have kind of largish wrist, about 7-inch wrist. It actually looks good and feels comfortable on my wrist. Now this particular model fits in between a Fitbit Ultra or Ultra HR and a Fitbit Ionic. Now I actually own both the Ultra HR and the Ionic, and this really sits comfortably in the middle. You can see Fitbit have paid attention to the design. It's got a really slim profile. It might look a little thick on camera, but once it's on the wrist, you'll be surprised at how thin and kind of inconspicuous it is actually. Now this particular model is the rose gold special edition model. It comes with a really girly strap inside, but what they also did was they included a classic strap, which is this black strap, and that's what I've paired that with, and I think it looks perfectly fine. Number 2, the screen on the Versa. Now you have essentially a screen on the front that is touch sensitive, so that means you can actually swipe through. We've had a bit of an overcast sort of weather recently, but what I found in the week and a half that I used this, the screen actually works really well in low light and in bright light as well, so it gives you plenty of information, something that would be missing on something like the Ultra HR. So if you need more information at a glance, then that screen is definitely an advantage over anything else. The third thing about the Fitbit Versa, the thing that I love, is Fitbit itself. Now I've owned a Fitbit since the Fitbit Flex. I own Ultra HR currently and an Ionic, and for the most part the Fitbit application, the Fitbit product range is really good. Now this is one of the things that I get commonly asked, why a Fitbit and not an Apple Watch? And the reason is very simple, because really I think Fitbit as a company, as a product, and as an app deals better with health and health related activities for me personally than something like the Apple Watch. Once you really buy the Fitbit Versa, you're coming in to a ecosystem that is great for fitness tracking, for all of the other subcomponents that come with that, like sleep tracking, which again the Apple Watch still doesn't do, you know, food tracking, water tracking, all the other range of different subcomponents of the app. You're going to get a really good experience with that, particularly if you're new to fitness tracking and using sort of smart fitness trackers for your health needs. So now that we've spoken about the positives, let's talk about some of the negatives, because you know what, there have been some negatives. Now to begin with, remember when I mentioned about the design of the Fitbit Versa? Well, one of the issues that I have is the build quality. The design, don't get me wrong, is really good, but the build quality on the Fitbit Versa is a little The other thing is the attention to detail, some of the crucial detail which Fitbit have got right in previous models, but for some reason just feel clumsy on this particular model. What I'm talking about here is to do with the straps. A lot of the Fitbit models can be customized, so you can essentially get straps that you can change up color-wise and material-wise. That works really well with the Fitbit Ultra. It takes a couple of seconds to do. With the Fitbit Ionic, a bit longer. But with the Fitbit Versa, it took me a while to, you know, take this off. There's basically 2 kind of, I don't know, levers if you like. You pull those, the straps come out, but putting them back in is incredibly difficult. In fact, I had to use a watch tool to put it in correctly. And that just kind of surprised me a little, because for the most part, the build quality on most of the Fitbits is okay, but on the Versa, particularly that lack of attention to detail surprised me. Number 2 is to do with battery life. Now, unfortunately, the battery life on this model I found wasn't very good. The Fitbit Versa is supposed to have better battery life, between 3 to 5 days. I was getting about 2 days worth before I had to put it on the charge. Now I went online on some of the search forums related to Fitbit, and it seems like some of the suggestions were to reset the Fitbit, to plug it into the charger overnight to see if that worked. And I found that once or twice that made a difference, but then the battery seemed to drain. Now there are a couple of things that you can do to improve this. Number one, turn off all day sync, so that when you sync it with your device, you do it manually at that point. The other thing is to turn off Wi-Fi. Now for some reason I wasn't downloading apps or doing anything else, but it must have been doing something in the background, because the moment I turned off Wi-Fi, the battery life improved. And this is the thing, I mean, really one of the issues, the biggest gripes that I have with something like the Apple Watch is that it's yet again another device that needs charging daily, whereas with Fitbit devices, for the most part, they don't require charging as much. Now, yes, it's got a color screen, yes, you know, it's got an accelerometer, it's got other features that are missing from something like the Fitbit Ultra HR, but this thing needs to be charged minimum of once a week. So it can go 6 to 7 days without needing a charge. This required charging for me on an average between 2.5 to 3 days. The other negative, or the thing that I disliked about the Fitbit Versa, is the charging brick that it comes with. Now this is something that has consistently kind of annoyed me about Fitbit products, that they don't have a standard charger. Now I don't have a problem with the charger that comes with the Fitbit Ionic or the Fitbit Ultra, but with the Fitbit Versa, the charger is just, it's more like a dock than anything else. And it's just cumbersome, because if you own more than one Fitbit, it feels like you need to have a backup if you lose your cable or you lose your charger. And it would be nice to see Fitbit include something which is smaller. I don't understand why they couldn't have included the Fitbit Ionic charger with the Fitbit Versa, because the dock that currently comes with the Fitbit Versa is incredibly unfriendly when it comes to traveling. And that's it, guys. Those are the 3 things that I loved and the 3 things that I hated about the Fitbit Versa. For the most part, look guys, if you are looking for a stylish fitness tracker, something that doesn't look like a typical fitness tracker, a bit like this or the Fitbit Ionic, then definitely worth considering is the Fitbit Versa. Now there are so many other benefits of the Fitbit Versa that I haven't really mentioned, but if you want a full list of all the specs, check the link down below to go and have a look at that. That's it from me for now. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, remember to smash that like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe so that you can see more videos like this once they go live. That's it from me for now. I will see you in the next video. I'm EMKWAN. Peace and blessings.